Welcome everyone, welcome along to the start of a very exciting project for GRL. It is of course the start of the Ground Effect podcast, and from this week onwards you'll get your weekly dose of GRL with us talking about all that's happening in the league. We've got the mixed here on Sundays, F1 on Mondays, F2 on Wednesdays, and we'll keep you all up to date with all the comings and goings in what has turned out to be one of the biggest leagues around. My name, of course, is Dara, and I will be joined throughout the season by Atom and a few guests from week to week. But we will start for episode 1 with a review of season 2, and what a season it was. We had 3 titles decided down at the wire at Brazil in the finale, and there are many memories to take with us. I mean, who can forget Andrew absolutely obliterating his microphone every time he won? Yes, of course, to talk us through all the comings and goings of season 2, I'm of course joined by Atom. So, Atom, firstly, are you excited about this new project we're doing?
Well, really excited, like everything around GRL right now. You can say it's booming.
Yeah, definitely.
And, really interested how also all the drivers and everything perform after a pretty decent season 2 for the league, and how the new guys will perform. So, gonna be interesting to go through all of the data.
Yeah, definitely. Well, to start off with, I mean, of course, season 2, the good old days when we only had 4 divisions for Formula 1. I mean, that feels like a long time ago. Were there any, just in general, were there any standout moments in the year? It doesn't even have to do with racing, but were there any standout moments that you can remember?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Andrew's first win in Britain.
Yeah.
Nobody knew he was there, let's say, in Division 4 down there, just midway through at Miami where DNF'd, so probably nobody expected much. Then he, in Monza, also made a mistake, got third in the sprint, but then the main race didn't go his way. And then in Britain, his moment did finally come, where he absolutely destroyed multiple people's ears on the team radio for his first GRL victory. That was a very special win, and he also made it 3 in a row.
Yes,
so
he did. Yeah.
Ninja wasn't the only one this season to make it 3 in a row. So and from then on, Andrew went on to hunt down Chappers in the championship for Division 4.
Mm-hmm.
That was probably one of the best moments. But I mean, I can mostly speak about Division 1 because we also had some great moments there.
Yeah, exactly, sure. And of course we'll come on to Div 4 later. We'll go through. We've got a very special guest for our Division 1 review, and then me and Atom will talk through Div 2, 3, and 4. But from a personal standpoint, one of my favourite moments, it has to be the move at Austria. That I think was Michael. I think Michael made it. Yeah, Michael made it inside at the penultimate corner. He was on the inside whilst Alan was going for the pit lane, and that for me is definitely that is 100% a standout moment. That was a cracking overtake. I remember me and Jim got really into that in the party.
Even lost the position into turn 1.
Exactly. Yeah. But it didn't really matter. He'd already done the outrageous.
Indeed, he did. Yeah, probably Michael also someone. It was a bit underrated after last season, so hopefully can do better in the next 21 rounds.
And of course, thinking in general, overall, McLaren ran out as the overall Constructors' Champions, and Alpine came in second. Of course, I think that was helped, of course, by Ninja being victorious in Division 1, and am I right in thinking Chappers in Division 4 was in Alpine?
Division 4. No, he was McLaren.
I know he was McLaren. Oh, that was it. Yeah, because he helped him with McLaren. But I think because McLaren had a couple of champions, and then Alpine kind of got a few decent drivers. I think Distant Bard in the Alpine in Division 2 picked up quite a few points. Plaid is live, yeah, exactly. So I think they just picked up a lot of points in general.
And J Street in Division 4 as well.
Yes.
He had, I think, the best last third of the season, even better than Andrew. So, but still didn't get a win. I think he got 3 second places, so that definitely helped them to jump us at Mercedes, which wasn't very amusing.
Yeah, no, exactly. Right then, let's talk about Division 1. So, to start us off for the Season 2 review, I'm pleased to say that we are joined by Jim, our Tier 1 co-commentator, alongside myself, of course. Jim, how are you?
I'm good, man. I'm doing good. I mean, I just had a terrible league race, so I'm not in the best of moods. But besides that, I'm good. I'm happy to talk about GRL.
Everyone's happy to talk about GRL when even if they're in a bad mood. So then, Season 2, of course, it was a cracking season in Division 1. Have you got any particular highlights from the season?
Definitely Britain, without
Yeah.
a doubt. I think that wet Britain race is probably one of the best league races I've ever actually watched in terms of quality and race cleanliness. I guess you could call it. I've seen some pretty dirty races in my time, but that race it was solid.
Yeah. And Atom, do you second those comments?
Yeah, Britain was a great race. I mean, there were people who tried it around the outside of the S section in the middle sector.
Yeah,
And
Magnus and Beckett's. Yeah.
Yeah, that end usually ends in drama, but somehow everyone survived, and I think we almost did 10 laps with all cars and only had around 2 DNFs. So yeah, that was a great race, and probably one we can never challenge in these standards again.
Yeah, but well, we'll have to see as we await Season 3. But of course, Atom, you finished runner-up to Ginger Ninja over the season. Did you think that was a fair reflection of how the season went, and what did you think of the quality, the state of the driving quality as a whole of the grid?
Well, yeah, I mean, since Season 1, the grid definitely improved and was a good step forward. Overall, I think the position second in the championship overall was kind of fair, because I always got into the point, except for 1 or 2 races at the end. That's where the championship got lost. But yeah, I mean, Ninja deserved the title. He was the faster driver. He was the better driver. He was often on pro clubs as well. So maybe Blade could be up there as well, but he joined a little bit later after his promotion. So yeah, I think was a solid season. But yeah, Ninja definitely deserved the title.
Yeah, right. Well, I'll bring up the I'll bring up the standings on screen now. So there you go, everyone who is watching along, listening in, can now see the standings. Of course, Ninja won it in the end by 22 points, which I feel is a bit of an unfair reflection. But I mean, Jim, were there any little surprises in that season towards the end, maybe as well?
I mean, I think there was a lot of drivers that got involved, especially reserves, that just kind of took away the top maybe 4 positions away from the championship leaders.
Mm-hmm.
I think IXL Radius was definitely one I remember seeing a lot on podiums. There's just a lot of reserves that ended up disrupting the championship order, which definitely made for some good races and some good strategies as well, I think.
Yeah, of course. So looking at that now, Blade coming in P3. I mean, he really had a surge towards the end of the season, and I mean, we all 3 of us have been talking about who we think could be in with a shout for Season 3, and we've all mentioned his name. So I mean, he had a very good end to the season. But also, I think if you look at the constructors as well, final race of the season, you could see that, because of course these are from the final race of the season, Williams jumped up straight into 3rd in the championship on the final race, so they had a really strong push. But Atom, are you disappointed that you missed out on the constructors to McLaren as well as the drivers, or are you at peace with it?
Well, of course, I'm not happy that we lost. Let's put it like this. But yeah, I mean, since the halfway through the season, Kai wasn't really there anymore, and I had to carry the team on my own. And if you are on pure pace, not really good enough to fight for wins each week, it will be difficult to fight for constructors, because Delta wasn't like the huge point scorer, but he got a few, and 14 more than Kai in the end. So yeah, it was definitely unfortunate, but as I said, I think Ninja was just brilliant this season, and he deserved it to take home both titles for himself and the team.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, it was a very close battle. I mean, both championships went to the final race of the season. And I think Jim, we had some good moments on the commentary, didn't we, over over the season?
Yeah, definitely, especially with the Mercedes teammates.
Yeah, I was going to mention actually. I didn't know if you'd be angry if I mentioned it, but those his teammate is also in a Mercedes. That was a real interesting. I think you were trying to make.
I hope you roll that clip.
Yeah.
For the viewers, so they know what we're talking
I have to try and find the clip now. I know, but because I think you're trying to say that because Ginger Ninja had joined late, he was also in the Mercedes. But you mucked up your words. You mucked up your words. Like Atom is in a Mercedes, and his teammate, and I think you meant Ginger Ninja, is also in a Mercedes. But it was just that's a cracking moment from the season. But yeah, thanks for joining us, Jim. We'll speak to you for the next episode of the podcast, and yeah, we'll speak to you in a bit. Thanks, Jim.
See you in a bit, mate.
Right then, let's move on to Division 2, and what a division it was. Let's see if I can get the standings up now. There they are, and we had Clever take the crown in Season 2 for Division 2, and it wasn't a very he didn't run away with it. I mean, there was TGC Delta, Distant Bard, and Jirazi who were always there. AJ Nolan coming up towards the end of the season, and I mean, Atom. It was a very tight season. I mean, it also came down to Brazil in the last race. I mean, it was wet at the end, wasn't it? Which really created some jeopardy.
Yeah, Division 2 definitely had its special moments, and I saw it before we started this, that in the 12 rounds we had last season, Division 2 had 9 different race winners.
Yeah.
So definitely had some 2012 vibes, let's say. Yeah, I think Distant Bard could have easily. I mean, he's 37 points behind Clever at the end, but he could have easily won the championship, even though he was third, because at Spa he lost out by half a tenth on the line. At Spain, he was leading by over 10 seconds, but got a puncture at the last lap.
Yeah.
And Brazil, he was leading, but then the safety car came out when he was past the pit lane. The safety car came out.
Because he was on, and then he was on the wrong tyre, wasn't he? I think because it was it had gone from intermediates to wets, hasn't it? And he was still on that intermediate tyre, and he just got absolutely swamped. And that's where his chances of glory went, because it was tight for it literally up to the last few laps. It really could have been anyone's division, and Clever came out on top. And with Clever coming out on top, of course, he brought through Williams to win the constructors' title. Again, but it was very close. I mean, if you look at the standings, Alfa Romeo in second to Alpha Tauri down in seventh. There's only 32 points in that. Rebel and Alpine finished on the same points, and McLaren and Alpha Tauri did as well. So I mean, it really was. It was a really tight division. Was Division 2. And I mean, Clever again. Clever. I mean, like you said, there were 9 winners, but I think Clever drove the most consistently, didn't he, out of everyone in that division?
Yeah, I mean, Division 2 is always a bit of a special division, because if you are there and you are usually confident that you are the quickest, and it's just a chance to get up into the top tier division of Division 1. And to technically have a chance, you need to win Division 2, because there'll all be quicker drivers that will join. Yeah, he was consistent. He raced, I think, each of the 12 races. Delta missed 2, Distant Bard missed 2 as well. I think Jirazi joined late, so he got a bit lucky there. But you still have to score the points in the races you attend, which he did. I mean, it got a bit feisty with Delta at Abu Dhabi, where they were side by side for almost the whole lap. I said with Distant Bard in Spa, it was a very tight finish, but at the end he could make it through. to grab his first ever title in league racing, and I'm sure he will be a returning driver. He's a returning driver for season 3, and will definitely try to come back and win again. So it'll be interesting.
100%, definitely. And were there any funny moments from Div 2 that you can remember at all? I mean, we all know, you know, we've got some characters in this division, don't we? You've got your Clevers and your Distant Bars. They can be a real good character in the server, can't they? So
Yeah,
it's always fun to
I
look
mean-
at the chats after the races in Division 2.
Yeah, I mean, we just talked about Division 1 earlier, and if you look at the leaderboards here, in P8, I think that is Blade. So he had 60
Yeah.
points on the board, and he was leading the championship when he left. So that was a bit painful for him, for sure, because he had the chance on a title, and he was Clever's teammate. So it's pretty much his 60 points that are the difference between Clever and Alfa Romeo in the constructors. So he technically won that championship with him, because Clever's other teammates weren't really the most consistent ones. So definitely some great characters as a Blade. Lloyd, we spoke to him during draft night. Check that out on our Twitch if you haven't yet. Yolki, another Finnish driver, so we got 2 Finnish race winners this season. And yeah, several more. And as you said, moments. I mean, Koyi in P11 on the second part of the leaderboards. He was 13th at the last restart in Monza and won the race.
Yeah, exactly.
So that was a great race for him as well, for sure.
Well, I mean, I think that very well sums up how good Division 2 was in Season 2. But I mean, of course, the other divisions we can talk about include Division 3, and I mean, overall, we know it was Fresh who won the title in Division 3, and I mean, you know, he wasn't there for the final round, or final few rounds, was he? But he managed to hold on against Platislav. He had just enough points over him to win that title.
Yeah, with I think it was 3 rounds to go.
Yeah.
He grabbed the title because Trappy in 3rd and Wiggy in 5th were leading the championship after a few rounds in, but then they had some issues timing wise, so they had to retire. And so Fresh was 3rd at the point, I think, and said, "Now it's my time to shine," and he definitely did. Platislav and him came together a couple of times. That's what I remember, I think, at the Spain sprint.
Yeah.
So the Russian and the Brit aren't the best friends, let's say, but was a good rivalry. And I think Fresh was over 50 points ahead before we went to Abu Dhabi. And then Fresh didn't race in the final race of Brazil, but DNF in Abu Dhabi, so he didn't score any points in the final 2 races. While Platislav won both of those, so that's why they only got 3 points between them. And that also were the first 2 race wins for Platislav in GRL. And yeah, he will also have a tough job next season, and will hopefully be able to be 3 points closer to be won in the championship. But I guess we shall find out. And yeah, the constructors in this division also are very, very close. So Alpine likely at the end won out over Mercedes because Fresh didn't turn up.
Yeah, if we have a look at those standings quickly, we can you can see Alpine literally at the end overtaking both Mercedes and Aston Martin to take that crown. Of course, you can see Platislav up there only lost out by 3 points to Fresh, but I mean, he gained all those points at the end of the season. So he really pushed towards the end. But I mean, yeah, you say the likes of Trappy and Wiggy weren't able to finish the season. But there are a few returning drivers in there that we'll see back again this season. I think the likes of Dobby and Lennon and Boosted RB and all of them, they'll be coming back in season 3. And it'll be interesting to see what they can do.
And Sixpenny Berry, I think the top 8 from the top 10 8 drivers our returning drivers, so they proved themselves again in different divisions. Now we got a bigger variable of division, obviously, and
Yes,
also
exactly.
down to like Erna, because everyone last season had like Erna in Division 3. That's a shame. He'll easily win that division. Look, he finished 123 points off the lead. So
Yeah, exactly.
surprise is still there, and yeah, hopefully he can turn this around for season 3.
Exactly right, and yeah, I mean, I'm very much looking forward to Division 3 in Season 3, and then of course finally we'll talk about what was our last division in Season 2. There's only really one man that you can associate with Division 4 in Season 2, and that man is Andrew. I don't think anyone would doubt that he is the man of this, probably of GRL in Season 2. If we're being honest with ourselves, if we look at the standings here, you'll be able to see in Division 4 he took the championship on that final race from Chappers, which, I mean, must have been gutting for him. But Andrew, what was it? He won 4 of the last 5 races, something like that?
Yeah, he joined us at Miami, so he only had like 8 races this season, and
Yeah,
I think he won like 5 of them.
yeah,
And yeah, he had a row of 4 wins in 5 rounds. So he was really on it. He
really
just
pushed
joined
it.
just because to have a go. And Chappers, when Andrew joined, was really dominating this tier. I think there was a point where he was leading by 45 points,
Yeah,
even at the high point of the season. And then Andrew took the fight to him, luckily for us as a league. And you don't want to see someone just streaking away into the distance and winning the title with 3-4 races to go, which
exactly.
definitely didn't happen. And worth saying, if you haven't watched the Division 4 race, which obviously would be a shame, but Andrew and Chappers started both on the front row for the title decider, Brazil. And what happened in turn 1 and 2
Yeah,
at the Senaz? They
yeah,
crashed.
yeah. It was always going to happen.
Yeah, Chappers was just like, you are not taking this championship off me. But Andrew said, you are damn wrong. And he fought back through the pack. And I think they went side by side across the finish line. And Chappers
Yes.
only lost the championship due to a 3-second corner cutting time penalty.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
Amazing stuff.
Literally to the line, the title went to the line. But yeah, I mean, again, a cracking season. I can't wait to see what Division 4 has to offer us in Season 3. I mean, there's quite a few of those drivers returning again. Jay Street, Batsy, Gaz Buchanan, all of them are coming back. So it'll be exciting to see what they can do there as well.
Yeah, and I think Division 4 has a great community, let's say, because if you have a look at chat, everyone says, yeah, hopefully you can race together again, which in competitive league racing, let's say, not say you see it rarely, but it's not the very usual sight.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would like
It's
to
nice to
face you
see.
again because you're a tough component. So definitely nice to see. And yeah, as you said, Jay Street, just a quick word on him. I think in all of his races since he took that Alpine main seat, he finished in the top 7.
Exactly.
3 times in second, once in third, I think, and 2 times in fourth. So he's getting closer to that first GRL win.
Yeah, great consistency as well.
Seemed a bit of an issue at Alpine because Platt had to wait for quite a bit as well. So hopefully he can reach the top step of the podium in Season 3.
Yeah, exactly. Well then, that pretty much wraps up our season review for GRL Season 2. We thank you very much for listening / watching along if you've been looking at the graphics on the screen. And we hope you've enjoyed the first podcast of the season. There will be a new one released in the next couple of days for a Season 3 preview, so make sure you watch out for that one. But thanks all for listening, and yes, from me and Atom, we hope you enjoy your day, whichever part of the day you'll listen to this in. We hope you enjoy the rest of it.